Hi everyone, Dr. Victoria Skirbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. I'm sitting here in my garden, um, and I thought I would do a card reading on the situation that we find ourselves in the United States with the protests and the president's um, reaction, I guess, to the protests. We call it that. All right. So today is the 2nd of June. The moon is in Scorpio. I guess that's a good time to look at this subject. Um, Mars and Venus are square each other today. So we have challenges in relationship. Venus is retrograde. We're trying to reevaluate our relationships, what is essential in our lives. And a lot of that has to do with, not all of it, but a lot of it has to do with our ability to communicate and our ability to get the facts, the real facts, the true facts, as it were, because Venus is in Gemini at this time. We are moving, well, Mercury is in Cancer. We are actually in the pre-shadow of Mercury retrograde. Mercury goes retrograde. I want to say the 10th, but that might not be correct. Maybe a little later than that. But we're feeling that energy a little bit, and of course with Mercury in Cancer, the information that's coming into us is emotionally charged. We feel it through our emotional body, and so you could actually be getting information um, through your emotional body and finding yourself going through these like periods of different emotions and different feelings, especially for the empaths out there. And all of us actually are becoming more and more empathic. Um, that's part of this, in a way, the new paradigm. We're becoming more open-hearted, and as that happens, of course, the grief comes out, the feelings come out, the all the things that have sort of been uh, bottled. One of the things that happens with Pluto in Capricorn is that Capricorn is an energy that often stuffs their emotions. It sort of oppresses that. Don't feel that. Just just keep on, keep your head down, and keep moving forward, and keep working, and keep doing this and that. And a lot of us can't work, so we're being forced to sort of feel in a way. um, it's just a big, it's we're in for it this month. So I want to just take a quick look at, I want to take a look at this whole situation with, okay, shuffling, cutting, uh, with the demonstrations. Okay. So the first card we get here is the Mother of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see that. I know the lighting here isn't the best. I'm trying to get you to see this. Yeah, see, I don't think you can see this, right? I don't know what to do about this lighting, folks. Let me just try to move something here. Okay, so the Mother of Pentacles is so this is a deer here. Oops, deer, and she's got a little fawn that she's protecting here. And it's Pentacles. So Pentacles is about resources, but it's also about life. It's about life. You're alive. You have a body, and this is a mother trying to protect um, her children, her fawn, um, and her ears are alert, and she is her eyes are wide open. But she is gentle. This is a gentle energy, and so I feel like the nature of um, the nature of um, these protests are really a mother trying to protect their child. That's the energy I feel. It's a practical matter. It's a heartfelt matter. It's a matter in which we're just trying to protect one another, and stand up for those who are up against it, right? I haven't watched a lot of it because it's so upsetting. Um, but I have noticed that there's a lot. I mean, it's not just black people out there, but there are black people, there are white people, there are people of all colors that are out there standing, standing uh, for George Floyd, for what happened to him, against police brutality. So it is a and the energy feels very, very feminine, very feminine. The woman who started Black, I think the woman or women who started Black Lives Matter are just that, black, right? So there's that energy of mother. Let's see what's crossing it. Yeah. So this is the Five of Swords. This is unfair tactics, cruelty. So there's cruelty, there's unfair tactics being perpetrated against the people who are protesting. Hold on one second. I just want to, sorry, just wanted to move something. Okay, let's see what's at the root. Yeah, we get the of 6 of Cups. We notice how deep the roots are to this tree, right? So this is deeply rooted within the community and within the experience of people. And it has a broad base. There's broad-based coalition here. So it's not just black people out there complaining. It's not. And the roots here in this card are multicolored. And so this is not something that's a black issue. It's a black issue, of course, but it's not just supported by being black, right? There's all kinds of connection here. And the Six of Cups is love for community, and six is always about love, and it's about commitment to the community, and um, it's about our connection, being connected. And we can't always see the connection because the roots are underneath the ground here. What we see is the tree that is sprouted from those roots, but the roots go through all different areas and create and get the nutrients, right? Let's see what's in the past. Okay, so we have the Five of Cups here. I don't know if you can see this. Sorry again for the thing. Um, there are five. Can you see them? The 5 cups up there up top. This is sorrow, sadness. Um, in the past, so much grief, just so much grief. I feel like, to a certain extent, that what's rising up is, generations and generations of grief coming up through how Black people have been um, utilized for the benefit of we'll call it the white man for lack of a better term, perhaps, and how their bodies and their lives have been used and misused to benefit the few at the top, whether it was slavery. The average person in America, let's say in the 1800s, didn't have slaves. Who had slaves? The elite had slaves, right? I mean, maybe you had a maid, maybe you had it in some sort of indentured servant, but most people didn't have that. Um, and then there was sort of Jim Crow, which was an opportunity sort of to it was like slavery. Um, what is that? What do they call that? Point two, like point one, point two, slavery point two. And then we had the change and the shift through um, the rising of the civil rights movement. And then we went into the prison industrial complex and the war on drugs, which is really just a war on people of color and poor people. And now here we have a next level of rising up. Only there's more white people and more, other people, sort of joining it. Now, I was very young during the riots in the 60s. So, and when I see pictures of it, it seems like there's black people and there's white people, right? And there's this. Now there's black people and white people, and what they're going up against is more of the system, more than the individual. It seems like it's more they're going against the system here. Let's see what's in the sky. Yeah, the tower. This is it, guys. The tree is getting lit up. The tree is getting lit up, and it very well could be this tree. But even if do you lose the top of this tree, lose the top of this tree, everything's backwards. Um, the roots remain, and the tree will continue to stand. So this is transformation. This is change. This is a tower moment that requires us to connect with who we really are. Spirit. We are really spirit. And when we hurt other people, for whatever reason, color of their skin, or you think they're criminals or whatever it is, you're hurting yourself. You cannot do it. So it just doesn't work that way. Let's see what's in the immediate future. I'm sorry. Love. Love. It's interesting. It's the two of cups, but of course the two is the symbol of Gemini, right? Right? Can you see that? It looks just like the symbol of Gemini, Roman numeral 2. Um, it's people coming together. It's love. It's compassion. It's beautiful. The way forward through this isn't through anger, but compassion and love. That's what we have to hold. We have to hold compassion and love for one another, no matter what those in power are trying to do. We have to have compassion and love for one another. We have to support each other through compassion and love. So if you want to know what to do, if say you're not in the group, or you don't want to be in the group, you don't have to go out there and protest. Um, but you can, in your heart and in your consciousness, surround the protesters with love, surround the situation, surround the police, surround the protesters, surround everybody with love. And we ourselves here, in right here at the Seeds, we're having some issues, and what we have decided to do is to just love the offender. In this case, just send love. That's what we do every day. We send love every day. We send more and more love. And it's been very peaceful here since and that was Michael's doing. And he was the one getting threatened. So it was his decision to send love. And that's one of the things that he does with people when he works with his receivings energy, is that he does the receivings with the other person, sending that receiving love energy to the person who was giving them a hard time. And what ends up happening is it stops. So there's a great lesson here. How this is seen from the outside. We have the Four of Wands here. Focus. There's focus here, the necessary focus. Um, there's a real root. There's a real rot in America, and that rot is slavery, and that rot is the way we have treated our indigenous people, and we cannot really stand up um, and call ourselves life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness unless we face this. And we are facing one of our shadows. And that is the shadow of slavery and the shadow of how we have treated Black people in this country. And next, and it seems like um, the natives are next. Like this is, I mean, that doesn't maybe sound too good, but in the 60s we had the uprising, right? Civil rights movement, Black America. standing up and saying we need to be counted. We count, right? Um, and then in the 70s, we had a movement with the native tribes, and so I think we're facing the second sin first, and then we face the first sin second. Like do you know what I'm saying? Okay. Our domestic situation. Wow, not what I expected. The Ace of Cups. Again, love. Love. We have to love one another. Gosh. Wow. I guess they're making a point here. Hopes and fears. We have the Daughter of Wands. This is as you sow, so shall you reap. This is the infinity. Um, I think this is a hope. The hope for good news, the hope for an awakening, the hope for something beautiful growing out of this pain. Let's see the outcome. Wow. Whew. This is the Six of Wands. Out of the chaos, out of the underbrush, where there's restriction, we fly free. We fly free, transformed. Wow. So this is a real test. This is a real transformational test for us to rise above and to free people from this awful situation. Let's see if we can pick the High Priestess. And so there are a lot of things that need to be uncovered. There are a lot of things. Um, the High Priestess talks about using our intuition, but it's also about an uncovering and a truth. And it is a two. Again, I really feel like it's very interesting. There's so much going on this month with eclipses and this, that, and the other thing. But this Venus retrograde in Gemini is really a powerful, powerful energy. Um, and it is going to be conjunct the Sun tomorrow on the 3rd. It's the highlight of the Venus retrograde cycle. I'll talk about that tomorrow when we walk through the garden. So, but yeah, wow, powerful, powerful reading, powerful reading. And then we have the Fool underneath it all, new beginnings. So, what I would say, I sort of posed the question like we have all um, all of these protests, and this today I said when I was walking through the garden that Trump wants to control the uncontrollable. And what the uncontrollable is in this case is love, is concern and care for one another. Yes, there's going to be violence. Yes, people are going to get hurt. Yes, there's going to be loss to property. But this is something that has to happen. This is something that has to rise up. And we can't be free until we're all free. And so, and I guess on certain level, the last 3 years, almost 4 years now, um, has been has just sort of brought us to this point, really. Wow, powerful reading, guys, powerful reading. Let me, I have these other cards here, the Illuminated Earth Oracle. I just want to maybe pick cards from this and see what comes up. Let me just, right here. Um, I just did a reading on Michael, so let me put those cards like somewhere in the deck here. Okay. All right. So love is the way forward. Not what I expected. I mean, I kind of did, but I mean, I kind of know that, but I didn't expect it to come up in the cards. I don't know. Okay. These are beautiful cards. Hopefully you'll be able to see them because this isn't the greatest setup to see the cards. Oops. Okay. Let's see. I'm just going to spread them out over here. All the way over here. Got my computer right in front of me. Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious. All right. Here we go. All right. First card, grief. Grief. So that's what we're feeling right now. We are grieved. And we see this the wolf who looks just like Boo, um, baying at the moon, and there is another wolf within the moon, a wolf that has passed. So this is, and of course it's the moon, and the moon is symbolic of the past. And so as this is a grieving for the past, this is all of, like I said, all of that energy just like pouring out, being expressed. It's just beyond the beyond. And I know a lot of us are feeling it, even if we're not there, even if we're not watching, we feel this grief. And that's what's happening. The next card is the underworld card, the snake going down. Interestingly enough, in the deck, in the Rider Waite deck, the Wheel of Fortune, which is the card for this month, has a snake just like this, going down, going down, in the picture. And so this is us going into the underworld. This is us going deep within ourselves, deep within the earth herself, to transform. And tomorrow, Venus makes a conjunction to the sun. Venus is in the underworld. You can't see Venus in the sky. She's at the heart of the sun. And the sun, a lot of times, the sun, of course, is the life giver, but is also considered a symbol of soul. And so this is deep work. This is going deep within, connecting with the life force. The snake is symbolic of the life force, the Kundalini. And then the last card are the gifts. The gift card, which you can see that. Sorry. Here we go. The gift card. And we have all these beautiful crystals and geodes. And so this comes from, these gifts come from the earth. And so, what this is talking about is that our grief brings us to have to look so deep within. And it's not just grief over, um, George Floyd, which of course it is, um, but it's also the coronavirus is bringing up a lot of grief. There are people losing people and they can't say goodbye to them, they can't be there in their last moments. We have parents dying in nursing homes and their children can't be there. Um, there are people dying and you can't have a funeral for them. Um, you know, there was a picture of, one of the first visuals of the epidemic, or epicenter in New York was, a picture of a Hart Island, interestingly enough, where they put all the it's like a pauper's grave, and they had all these, people who don't have anything dying and in these pine boxes. And then when you went back, it's exactly where they put the AIDS babies. And before that, it was like an asylum for poor people and women. And so there's all of these sort of lost souls really there. And this is all about, like, recognizing that all the suffering coming up to be expressed. And the last time I felt this so acutely, but it was, the energy was a lot darker. Like, I feel this, but the energy isn't dark. The energy is just like, it's sad. It's mostly sadness. It's mostly like pure sadness. Was when, Sandy Hook happened, and I would wake up in the morning and I could feel this blackness that was close, and, I had to energetically push it away, because it was such a pit of grief and despair. I don't feel despair. I just feel grief and anger right now, and righteous anger at that. But if we go down, if we dig deep, what we come up with are these beautiful gifts that we can only get if we dig deep. You know, I watched the Empress do a reading on this, and she's from Minnesota, and my heart went out to her. I really like, she started to cry, and I was crying with her, of course. It's really hard when you do these readings to go in those places. And I've sort of stepped back from it a little bit because my own life has been so, um, I've had to attend to it, right? Um, and so, but this is a time for us to heal. This is a healing crisis, really. And the only thing that really heals is love. So love one another. Don't judge. You know, I go on Facebook. I have friends who are saying, "Oh, they're doing all this looting, and they're lose. You know, why do they do that?" Well, live their life, live their experience, and you tell me why they do it. You know, who can they rail against, right? So not that I'm condoning it. I'm not. Um, But, sometimes the rage is so and the sorrow is so deep. I know for myself, and I'm not a particularly angry person, or don't think I am, but when I when I feel rage, it comes from a place of deep hurt. That's where it comes from. And I think that we need to hold each other dear, hold each other close, like that mother, the mother deer had the fawn at her side. Let's protect one another. Let's love one another. Let's put blankets of protection around everybody we can through this period, and know that this is just that there's another side to this, and that side is a freeing and a freedom that we have never known before. So, all right, guys, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed doing it. Have a beautiful day. Stay safe. Send love. We love you from here. And I'll see you in the morning as I walk through the garden or stumble. Sometimes I stumble through the garden for no reason. I don't drink. It's not that. Just that sometimes my ankles don't work that well in the morning. All right, guys, take care. Bye. Love you all.